You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned into the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. This is our last Three Amigos experience. I think we've done a good job. Shout out to my homie Lone, who will be back next week. My man Jay Moore is in the building. How are you, sir?
Doing well. Had a good holiday weekend. Still had to work, but I did get to spend some time with some friends, and just as always, peace, freedom, and reparations. You know the vibes.
I can dig it. My man DJ Jay Diff in the Robert Townsend chair. How are you, sir?
Salutations. I'm good, man. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Oh man, I'm doing all right. I can't complain. Just giving you your flowers on your job well done while Lone has been out.
Oh, I appreciate it, man.
You've done a good job.
It's mighty fine of you, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
I'm making strides. I keep telling y'all.
I'm telling you, man, self-improvement is the way to go.
Yeah.
First step one is acceptance. You have to accountability.
Okay, as long as you know the steps.
Yeah. This is something I'm working through.
Hey.
You know what I'm saying?
If you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better wake up and pay attention.
I like that. That's wisdom.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I try.
Shout out to the chat. The 𝐀𝐿enator is in the building. Lonegevity is in the building. Smooth Hoosier is already cutting up in the building. Gotta watch Smooth Hoosier, man. He's one of my favorite new old head supporters, man. That boy is a fool on social media, so you gotta watch him. He be cutting up in the chat. Y'all know that though.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now.
He's showing out.
How many of y'all still eating
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yeah. I'm hoping that y'all threw all of that out.
Oh, we passed the limit.
Tomorrow is Thursday, right?
Yeah, that means that food has been in your house for a week.
They technically should have stopped
Monday.
Yes, Tuesday at the latest. But Monday was really the day you were supposed to be like, okay, we got enough.
Listen, I work with a cat that was eating turkey sandwiches today.
Really?
Yes.
First of all, how many people? The thing is, my family, we don't let a turkey get past a couple days. All right, even if we got a couple of them.
Yeah.
Because I remember
Fam is wild for eating turkey sandwiches right now, though. I don't know about that.
He had a slice of bread. He was spreading his mayo.
Oh, word!
He was putting his turkey on there. It's actually smelled good. I
sure
wouldn't have guessed it had been.
But I'm cool.
A week, pretty much, for those that cooked their turkey the night before.
Yeah. That's a long time, man.
Week of turkey.
It's been in the ice box for a long time.
Yeah, man. He said I spent $35 on this turkey. I'm gonna eat all of it.
Hey, get your money.
Hold on, a $35 turkey is not getting you all the way to Wednesday. He must have just been, because turkey prices through the roof.
Yeah,
like I know, and been watching the price of turkey.
Yeah,
it
was old school. 35 was probably ain't no telling where he got it from. No.
Yeah, he might have. Clearly, for $35, he got a hook up on that turkey.
Yeah. Did you see what I tagged you in, Jay Moore, with when they deep fried? They was doing the old girl was doing the Cornish hens.
Oh yeah.
What's my girl's name that we talk about? Is her name
𝐀𝐿𝐿 Creations?
𝐀𝐿𝐿 Creations. Yeah, she's dope. She had the Cornish hens, Jay Moore. I tagged you in that. Man.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Deep fried boys.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, once you tell a story like on a platform like this, people tag you in stuff that has people burning their house down because of a fried turkey incident. So I got tagged more than once, and somebody talking about Happy Thanksgiving.
Yo, I'm telling y'all, man, I am 100% in and hooked on Game of Thrones. I'm in there now.
Good job, man. It's about time you came on.
I was asleep. I feel bad. I was asleep on how cold this show is. Why y'all didn't tell me it was this cold?
We've literally told you for years it's been that cold.
And I don't even watch it, but it was like, there's at one point you couldn't. I was at somebody's house where we having a nice barbecue.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the dragons came on, and
the dragons
and the people who were into it were like shh.
Yeah.
And so
House of Dragons is starting to make a lot more sense now that I'm going through the actual Game of Thrones and how it proceeds.
The thing about House of Dragons though is you can watch that without ever watching Game of Thrones.
But what tipped me off in terms of the names was I heard some of the names that were mentioned in House of Dragons.
Gotcha.
But they mentioned it like it was thousands of years ago.
Well, House of Dragons is before.
Well, it precedes it, right?
Right, it precedes that.
Right. No, that series is fire, man. Lone is I apologize to all of y'all actually, because y'all
You
definitely
ain't got to
told me it was
apologize to
cold.
me. I haven't watched none of it.
Oh,
So
well,
now,
forget you then.
as long as we can get you on the wire,
yeah,
I think that's next.
Let's calm down.
Yeah,
you haven't seen The Wire.
Sure
he
haven't.
said that a couple times.
Sure haven't.
He's never seen
Don't
The
feel
Wire.
away about it either.
You
Don't.
should.
You absolutely should. I don't even understand how you get some of these hip hop references from like what, the mid 2000s.
Everybody when I hear them, I usually have to be like, man, is that? Well, they'll say that's the Wire reference. I'm like, man, I don't get
even
it.
the whole
Sky Zoo
video,
got some
the
that are
video
cold.
to What We Do Is Wrong,
Yeah.
is all pretty much a rip from The Wire.
How many seasons on The Wire? That's
Five.
That's gonna be my
six,
next
5
one.
or 6.
Okay, that's gonna be my next one. I'm gonna jump. What streaming platform has it?
Right, HBO Max. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
an
it's on-
HBO
it's
show.
on
so it should be
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
HBO Max.
The whole thing.
Captions.
Absolutely.
Why you?
Certain people need the captions, bro.
Hey, I need
No.
my captions.
No, I mean, I don't know if y'all watched P Valley, but like,
I watched it up into a certain scene,
Yeah,
and
it
I
gets-
was like,
it
you
gets
know
a
what? I
little
think
rough.
I'm cool.
I heard
off
they be
this.
acting a fool
yeah,
on
it
P
gets,
Valley.
it gets, yeah.
It's a little extra for me.
Yeah.
I done forgot about my show.
But the thing is, like, the show is set in Mississippi, and like, I was like, I know I feel bad because they're speaking English, but
is this Brett Favre's Mississippi?
yeah,
Absolutely not.
This is the part. This is the
Maybe
part.
the people he was
Absolutely
stealing
No,
from.
this is who he was stealing from.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was
yeah.
just double checking because
Yeah,
Brett
he-
Favre in
yeah.
Mississippi.
Yeah, everybody. They needed Brett Favre's help, and
Wow.
yeah. So I'd be like, I gotta put the captions on.
Bro, ain't it about time for Euphoria to double back, or am I
Man,
tripping?
whenever Zendaya,
Yeah.
because she's out here getting to multiple bags.
I ain't mad at it.
They're waiting on her, and I think one of the chicks actually quit the show altogether.
Which one?
The one that had an OnlyFans.
She quit?
Yeah.
Wow.
She's not coming back. But actually, she wasn't on a lot of the last season, though, if you pay attention.
Yeah, okay. She was a dope. Her character was
Yeah,
good,
I liked
though.
her. I liked her character.
Yeah, she was out there in them. Yeah,
As a high school student now. So imagine this.
yeah.
Imagine having a daughter in high school
Uh-huh.
that has an OnlyFans page.
I couldn't. I
on
don't
the
want to know.
low.
I don't want to know. I couldn't take it. I don't want to know.
You know,
That's the era we in, though.
but
Be clear.
You know what's crazy is I know somebody who has an OnlyFans page,
Yeah.
and
Her showing feet.
exactly.
Why you say
That's all
it
she
like
does. She
that?
just shows feet.
She
and-
probably got nice feet.
And I was like, is there real money in that? Because I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll show some feet if there's some money in it. But they're like, nobody wants to pay to see dudes' feet.
At all.
But like, she ain't got to, do nothing real wild. She just got to show feet, and they'll pay like the $9.95.
Just for the feet.
Just for, and she could do a drop.
Showing
She could
feet in chat rooms.
She'd be like, hey, I got some new feet picks up, and there'll be some freaks out there that'll come
That
off
want
that
them
money.
feet.
Absolutely.
Hey, get your money, whoever you are. Get your bread.
Yeah.
McNasties out here paying.
Yeah,
for
I
feet
mean, like,
pics.
to me, the
McNasties.
because everybody wants to, disparage, some of these young ladies who have OnlyFans pages, but I'm like, why are you gonna talk bad about them? You talk about the weirdos that are signing up for $19.95 to see. I mean, maybe it's because you know who that person is, or you've seen them on Instagram before, and you want to see more. But I'm like, this is you have a problem, sir. You out here paying for freaky pics.
Yeah.
In 2022, when you have the internet,
it's some weird categories for people to be into.
Facts.
I had to ask somebody one something called. Do you know what that is?
Let's not go into that.
Let's not. But if you know what it is,
Yeah, we're going to leave that alone.
Yeah,
hey, listen, man.
what's wild?
There should be absolutely no reason anybody should be into this.
Yeah, there's a video, and there's a because this is how
At all.
This
You
is
have
so
to
bad.
edit that one out.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We'll go a few minutes extra.
You know what's
So
Hey,
you
y'all,
can
hey, y'all
edit
see
that out.
Smooth Hoosier in the chat, though?
Yeah.
You see him? I told you.
Hey,
you.
sometimes we gotta let it be known out here, man.
Look, and it's wild because, of course,
That's
sometimes
tough.
people don't know because there's a Nintendo game called, but it's like,
What?
but it's an acronym for something. But I
Oh,
was
okay.
like, I don't think. I mean, just like we're not going to go too much
Yeah,
into
yeah,
Jerry
be
Jones.
careful.
We're not interested, Smooth.
We're not
We're
saying-
not
but-
interested at all.
Like I said, somebody told me what it was, and I was like, "You got to be kidding me!"
But like one time, Jerry Jones, he's talking about his team getting playoffs. And it's like, we're looking to get some of that good glory hole. And I was like, sir, please stop. Please stop. You don't know what that means, and I need someone to grab you on the shoulder and get you away from this microphone talking about you want the Cowboys to get some good glory hole.
First of all, Smooth Hoosier said, Smooth Hoosier says, how y'all land here?
Hey, you know how we do, man.
Yeah.
This is randomness at its finest.
Speaking of Jerry Jones, what y'all think about the old school picture of him being there with the segregation? And
Well,
he was looking like, they said he was looking like he was curious or trying to act like he was Stephen A. Smith. Oh my God, he was oh man, he was just standing up for him like
my whole thing is this, and I ain't one to stand up for a lot of people, but you have to realize some people grew up with family members who conditioned them to be a certain type of way.
I agree,
and I can say I'm not really the biggest fan of Jerry Jones, and this is no way defending him. This is kind of a blanket statement. Some people come on home and realize what's going on later in life.
Okay.
So something might have surfaced. That man is 80 years old now, 80 plus.
Yeah.
From when technically didn't know any better.
See, and I think
that's only for some individuals.
I think with the Stephen A. Smith part, which made me a little confused, was it's not necessarily what he was saying as it relates to him being in the picture and, the time, how much time has lapsed. This man is 78, 79, 80 years old or something like that.
He's in his 80s.
He's in his 80s, right? So that's how long ago that was? Like, it's a long time.
What I'm saying, you got to give people saving grace. It's kind of the same thing that we talked about with Chris Brown. Now, as far as the years are,
yeah, that's different.
You know what I'm saying? It's a lot longer, but you have to give people saving grace because everybody's not where they need to be at an early age.
My point or my angle about Stephen A. Smith was how eager he was to jump out and defend him versus other things that have happened recently, and he's been completely opposite. Kyrie being one of them. Like, I've never seen him jump out of the window so fast to defend Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie Irving's not his friend.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes, like people want to make it more complicated than it is. Jerry Jones is his friend.
That's what he
Kyrie
said.
Irving is not his friend.
Well,
and plus, sometimes this is the thing. Like, I know a lot of times, and I'm not here to really defend Stephen A., but thing is, what I know, because I've heard some of Stephen A.'s conversations he has with people that are not through the platform of ESPN.
Okay,
and sometimes it comes off a certain way because of, just his fervor and the way that he presents himself through, the 12-minute segments that he gets to do during his morning show. But on the end of that is he sees young black men who have an opportunity to make generational wealth and they're messing it up for themselves. So when
he says the weed, stay off the weed, I agree with that.
That's kind of the underlying thing to where, and it's not, and Kyrie going back, we were like, why, sometimes he has this criticism that seems to be
he keep Kyrie name in his mouth though.
Not anymore, because now Kyrie's back on.
He's a sportscaster.
He's a sportscaster.
Kyrie, but in a negative light, though.
Yeah, but they all pick their pony, who they're going to pick on, notice it. And you watch these shows, so you know.
Oh, I know.
Every one of these sportscasters has their pony that they pick on.
Let me ask you this, then.
But this is the thing. Going back, when you talk about what Stephen A. Smith does, and at the end of the day, you have to remember, and you can get mad at him for this if you want to, but he's got to a point where he's got generational wealth for his family. So he's not going to mess up the generational wealth in his family to jump out of the window for Kyrie Irving. And plus, you got to understand, there is a partnership with the NBA and the NFL that is with the company that he works for. Right. So a lot of you would be like, yeah, if I got on there, I'd say this, that, the third. No, you wouldn't, because you'd be thinking about your $10 million a year too.
I agree with that.
So like people that were
you can talk that broke ass talk
shouldn't
else.
do all of that stuff. Kyrie is now playing. They were saying Kyrie was never coming back. Remember those people?
Oh yeah.
He's back playing and
let me
avoiding the questions, because honestly, I don't think he needs to answer any of those questions. Okay. He's perfectly right by saying that only ask me basketball questions.
But see, this is how it happens. Think about it. We were talking about Jerry Jones. We talking about Kyrie Irving.
Right.
Again.
Ain't that something?
Right.
But Jerry Jones, like the thing is, I actually read the article because, like I said, I had some time over this holiday weekend because I don't like to just get involved in the outrage machine. Okay.
Oh, it happens fast.
And see, the thing is, when they asked him about it, he said, "Yeah, this is what I was doing. This is what," and he asked, and the thing is, the people who spoke about Jerry Jones, they're all cited sources. It wasn't people throwing a rock and holding their hand,
right.
And so when you actually, for anyone who's actually interested in the story instead of just being outraged, I'd say go and do your due diligence and read the actual story.
You're asking for a lot in this area.
Yeah, well, but that's and I would not ask any more of anyone who listens to our podcast or who actually wants to get involved in the outrage machine than I would of myself. And if I could take the time to go ahead and do a little reading, so can you.
Let me ask y'all this.
I just want to finish this point. And because the thing is, if we are not willing to give Jerry, I'm not saying give him grace, but like he at least, unlike a lot of people his age, when you ask them about things that have to do with racism, he engaged with the question and was willing to talk about it. Whether you believe him or not, or whether you want to take what he said for face value, that's up to you. But also the same way I don't want any black 14-year-old or something that I did when I was 14-year-old to be held against me and for people to say, oh, that's who he is.
Yeah,
I don't want you to do that to Jerry Jones because as you do that to Jerry Jones, that gives him license to do that to any black 14-year-old in America or any 50-year-old black man who did something stupid at 14.
Let me ask you this, Terry. Do we put too much stock into what the sportscasters or the podcasters or whenever something happened, the people that cover this, do we put too much stock into those people's opinions? Because a lot of the times we see comments made by the personalities and they'll start a fire that'll go crazy all over the internet just based off one or two comments or, commenting about things. So do we put too much stock in our culture into these guys that are making these comments daily?
I think that's general media, period.
Just media.
And now that
general.
you have social media, people put too much stock in the fabricated thoughts that they have and came up with. And it's just media, period, is what's the word I'm looking for? It's a kind of a double-edged sword because you got good and bad is the stuff or the more provocative, more flashy topics are the ones that people tend to gravitate towards, whether it's, most likely it's bad.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think people put too much stock just in sportscaster in general. I think people put too much stock in being able to say what they want, period, honestly.
I think it's about people putting stock into an echo chamber. See, the thing is, if you already have an opinion about Jerry Jones or just old white men with billions of dollars in general, and you see this and you're just immediately say, because I look at the picture and if he said, I was just curious about what was going on, okay, I can give him that. Now there's some pictures where you see the people yelling and they're throwing rocks at and got things on fire and they're holding up segregation now and segregation forever. If you found that picture, then okay. If there's then okay. Then we got to have some deeper conversations. But I think that a lot of times it's if you like Stephen A. Smith or you like the Cowboys, then you're going to feel some kind of way. If you just dislike the Cowboys, you're gonna be like, see, I knew he was a Klansman. You know what I'm saying? And it's just,
you should see some of the,
the
reactions.
And if you think Kyrie, if you agree with him or you agree with what he thought he might have seen in a documentary, then once again, I'm pretty sure he did not watch. Then you're going to be like, yeah, Kyrie standing up to the man, this, that, and the third. And you're going to be real quiet once he apologizes, and then goes back to playing basketball and leaves you in the lurch. Because one of the wildest things from that whole situation was when the Hebrew Israelites showed up at the Barclays Center.
Yeah.
Like there was somebody, once again, you got to watch what you're getting your information from and what your perception of things is, because there was another NBA player, I'm not going to put him out there because he's already kind of had the egg on his face, and he was like, man, this is incredible, but he thought that it was members of Omega Psi Phi that showed up.
It looked like it. If you didn't know, it looked like
to show up. First of all, why would the Omega show up for Kyrie?
Right.
Kyrie's not. He is not a member of that fine organization.
Yeah.
And then
to my knowledge,
he's not. Just trust me, because if a lot of athletes, if they are a part of certain organizations, they will let you know.
No, I'm with you there.
I think media period though.
So
just media overall.
Media overall, and then people have computers and phones in front of them and can say anything they want and spark up a conversation that'll get shared 1,000,000 times, and people add on to that conversation. It just continues to snowball.
It's extremely dangerous, and we've talked about this on shows in the past here and there. I can't believe, what are we, 316? Is this 316? 315?
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about how dangerous it is that everyone can have or attempt to have a platform to put out information, because I always look at this era as the misinformation era, because everybody has an opinion. Everybody has this, and they can put it out.
Thought they think of something and immediately share it.
Yeah, and then it's the sharing, but it's also, like you said, the retweeting, the reposting of something that could be completely wrong.
Literal snowball. Like I've seen people share in the past week. A fan made a Wakanda series. He pretty much took different actors.
I saw that.
And
it was fire.
It looks legit.
Yeah, it was fire.
Drew it, AI'd it, whatever. Had a long post about Disney's having this Wakanda series that's coming out, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you read this whole thing, when you get down to the end, he literally tells you, I made all of this up.
It's just an idea. It's
an idea. I made all of this up. Ha ha.
Yeah.
Jokes on you.
Right.
I seen people sharing that like, oh my God, Disney has a Wakanda TV show coming out.
I can't wait.
Can't wait. Sharing the exact same article that dude just said.
Yes.
This is not real. Ha ha.
Yeah.
And you didn't take the time to even read it. All you seen was some pictures, the first thing, and decided to go ahead and share it.
Shout out to the brother that actually did that, because the pictures that he drafted up, that he made were cold. Like it was like 18 of them, and he had all the characters and stuff.
Right.
To your point, I got hyped when I saw it, but I did my reading. I did my due diligence.
Exactly.
What?
Yeah, I had to actually scroll through and be like, I don't want to be the goofy that's like, yo, we going to go see this, because it's not real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Smooth Hoosier, as far as how Bel-Air was started, yeah, something like that happened, but it wasn't being advertised as Bel-Air is coming back. Somebody actually made that as a school project and shared it, and it just generated a lot of interest, and then Will Smith picked it up.
Yeah.
That's actually a dope. That Bel-Air story is actually dope. That it was its own project, and people put it out, and it gradually gained steam.
Yeah.
And then once Will saw it, it was a wrap, and they turned it into a dope show.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good story.
Yeah.
That's a good story.
But once again, essentially everyone that has social media has a platform, which is good and bad.
Gift and a curse, the internet.
But we're seeing as Twitter implodes in on itself, that you're just able to say things and no one checks you on them, or people don't do the follow-up reading, or sometimes it'll link to an article and people are like, well, I'm not reading the whole article. I'll read.
I'll skim through it, or I'll just look at the headline and just go from there.
Yeah. So
shout out to Class Act.
That's really a situation, with like I said, if you read the entire article and you're still outraged, okay, I can engage you in that. But if you're just somebody that saw the picture, look, if you see a picture of any 80-year-old white person who's still living today, and it's a picture from that era, chances are they was probably doing something that is frowned upon now.
I mean, it goes back to what I said initially as far as how they were raised. I mean, they came from a background like that.
Culture.
There's a lot of people that maybe didn't get right, but there's a lot of people that did get right eventually.
Right.
That's the whole thing with grace. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm with you. It was just that photo. When you look at it, it's like, man, it's jumping back in time, because that's him. You can clearly tell.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't deny it. He said he was suspended from the team for it.
Yeah.
I don't know how true that is, but I mean, he said he was.
Well, I mean that it's just not, we can just end it with this, but it's just I felt like it was when I saw Stephen A. just jump out the window like that. You made a good point with the friends part. I still think he was just overly jumping out the window. My personal opinion. Which
he overly jumps out the window,
but that's
often.
Stephen A. Smith.
That's his personality.
I mean, because the thing is, if you want to have a conversation about a picture that you see in black and white, all right, whatever. But if you want to have a larger conversation, we can have a conversation about how growing up in that era has influenced, despite the fact I do not think that Jerry Jones is a racist, from what actual people who know him say, but it does still influence the fact that the Dallas Cowboys, since he's been the owner, has never had a black head coach.
I'm just glad he didn't say Emmitt Smith's my friend.
Yeah. Right.
Because he's at least nuanced enough to say, like, I have plenty of black friends,
And he told y'all about that kneeling. He said, not on the Cowboys.
Yeah, but and once again, that is
not on the Cowboys.
Think about it. He's still a 80-year-old white man from the South.
Yeah.
And there are just certain sensibilities that inform the way he moves in this world that are not going to line up with Colin Kaepernick's.
No, I can dig it.
But even when you talk about him not having any coaches, he basically has hired his friends.
100%.
That's the thing. That's
what you do when you own it.
That's been the problem. It was like he hired with his college roommate, and then he hired one of his coaches that he knew that was coaching at the same time he was playing, and then he hired Bill Parcells, somebody had a personal, like, he hires his friends.
What a concept! Actually getting leverage in business and owning something and putting your people
how
on.
all of these companies function. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people pledge fraternities,
right?
Because they look out for each other.
The connections are across the country.
Absolutely.
But once again, there's a fraternity of just being white sometimes because the thing is, like, you might know. Like, you might know and have actual genuine friendships with black people, if you're of a certain age and from a certain time, but you don't know black people. You might show up, because in the article, like I said, it talks about how Jerry Jones's father owned, I believe, a grocery store. And it was one of the few grocery stores in the area that would let black people come shop. If you can believe that, there was a time where white people were so racist they didn't even want your money.
Yeah,
and that makes you.
We all know that.
Yeah,
and just the fact that they would take black people's money makes them so progressive, if you will, at that time. I don't know. Like I said, read the article.
Yeah,
I could ramble about this and the dynamics of the NFL and race and hiring practices.
We'll be here for 3 hours with that.
But
that alone, though.
Once again, shout out to the outrage machine that largely got it wrong and is not interested in nuance.
Terry, I know we got a condensed show for today. Do you want to go ahead and shout out the partners real quick?
Let's go ahead and do that.
All right.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
All right, we are back. Shout out to our partners as always. We appreciate the continued support. And shout out to the chat. The chat is nice and live today. Appreciate you all as well. All right, let's jump into a little bit of music. I know we kind of pressed for time, but I want to talk about Conway the Machine and some advice that he decided to give out.
What'd he say?
So this is in relation to the advice for rappers looking to leave the street life behind. Okay. So he said that it's definitely harder than it seems. It seems easy. Like you're famous now, you're getting money. A lot of these guys, they're really outside, really tapped in. You got to respect the code. If you know what the life is about, it's codes. It's the way they live, and they stand by it. So my advice to the young bros that's doing it, let's see what he says. When you're getting the money, you get into the business, you got to know how to get out. You just got to know how. He said, you coming from the streets, you got to know what to take with you and what to leave behind. You got to know what to bring with you and what to leave out. So he's basically saying that the guys that are the street rappers, there's a certain code that they live by, and that pulls them back into it. Now the conversation has always been, why do the rappers get rich but continue to do, the things they did before they got there? Do you like the advice that he gives when he says it is a code, so you got to take that into consideration when some of these guys dibble and dabble? Do you like him saying that, or is that kind of in and like half and half?
I don't think it's about liking what he said, because in some cases that might be true.
Right.
But in the same token, you have to have set yourself up in a position to where the people that you grew up with and your hood understand that I have to move different now.
Good point.
I pretty much made it out. That was the goal. That was the end goal, to make it out so that I don't have to do the same stuff anymore.
Right.
So it's kind of essentially giving yourself a pass. I mean, because I know of a lot of rappers that completely left it alone.
Right.
But there's ways that you can give back without having to seem like you're being fake or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
I got you.
So I think there's a few layers to that, but you have to know that I can't be involved with certain things because I'm done.
I mean,
that's the goal. That's the end goal.
The fact that he said it's definitely harder than it seems. That him coming from the way him and Benny and all them grew up, he can speak to that, right? The way they grew up and certain things that they did in Buffalo. So I like that he says it's definitely harder than it seems. He kind of breaks down about, the codes people come from and when they come from the streets. But I like your point as to when you say there are ways to still give back.
Yeah.
Without
the code is aligning people or putting people that have the right mind frame in position to still win without having to do the same thing as well.
Right.
Because I'm sure he runs with a lot of people that don't want to keep doing that.
Right.
I mean, you say you're from a neighborhood, you know what I'm saying? Like, say you came up with 5 to 10 homies.
Right.
And that's not including people that may have been locked up, unfortunately shot, killed, whatever. People that want to succeed or move forward in life should want you to be on the straight and narrow so that it can provide a way for them too.
I agree.
If they're in position to help you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I mean, it's anybody that I've seen or that's had any level of success will always say everybody can't go.
I think a lot of people don't want to go because it's a lot of that allure too. Like I'm still hood, I'm still out here, blah blah blah. That's all fine and dandy until you get your melon peeled back. You know what I'm saying? Because there's somebody still out there that's jealous of you.
Always.
I mean, Boosie even said you gotta move and not be where you was born and raised at. Pretty much
legendary interview.
Especially if you're moving the same way, or not even necessarily moving the same way, but your lifestyle is something that they envy. Yeah. They can't get to that because they wasn't even messing with you in the first place. These are people from outside of your neighborhood, so you got to be worried about that. So you want to move different.
I'm with that. Jay Moore, you got any thoughts?
Anybody who has graduated from the street life and has signed a contract and has the potential to make millions of dollars, please get away from where you grew up from. Buy yourself and your mother and whoever you can a nice house in a gated community and stop doing the things. We've seen this story not work out enough.
Over and over again.
I just saw this documentary Van Lathan is a part of, I think 50 Cent produced it, was talking about like hip hop homicides. And they're talking about the kid Chinks. They got killed a few years ago. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace to him. And here he was on his way and had, but he was in a bad neighborhood in a $100,000 car. And essentially he was killed by somebody who thought they should have at least what he had, because he was another aspiring rapper.
Right.
Now it hasn't gone to trial, so I'm not going to say any names, but you got to understand, everyone is not happy for you. Like, you could go to your hood and people would throw their hands up and say, yay. And there's going to be one dude with his hands in his pockets with the screw face. Like, man, if I catch him, I'll really let him know who's the superstar here.
And here's the sad part about that. There's a high percentage chance that's one of your homies that you went to elementary school with, middle school with.
Absolutely.
That's been harboring that forever.
Look, when you
just never told you though, been around you, y'all been kicking it, everything.
I mean, we
cool.
just brought this up a couple weeks ago again. the guy that killed Nip was from his neighborhood. Nipsey knew who he was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I mean,
So you got to understand, like when you go, look, this is why to a certain extent, once you become famous, whether you be an artist, an athlete, you know, a famous person, a famous rich person, you know, because you can get, say you become an engineer, a doctor, a lawyer, you can do whatever you want because don't nobody know where you work or what you do.
True.
You know, but.
And they treat you as such too.
Yeah.
When you
True.
make it out of the hood and you became a lawyer, a doctor, attorney, even played sports, people don't bother you like that.
But
because they know that you're moving different.
But at the same time, like, you know, I remember there was a situation here with, you know, some Pacers players. Not to go into that, you can do your own research.
Oh yeah.
But you know, they were at a place where it was just some regular cats. You know, nothing against, you know, being a regular cat because I'm in that category. But you know, I don't have that jealousy in my heart when I see somebody getting it. But there's a lot of people out here who do. So say you were able to get a used Escalade or a used Beamer, you know, you think you know you're doing it, and then you got your middle of the mall jewelry on,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, and you
Rich
got
people wear that too,
and you got
True.
and you got a bottle, and you think, man, I'm in here doing it, I am the man, and then here comes so and so who just signed a $50 million contract. He came up in a Bentley.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? He's got the jewelry that you have to get buzzed in to buy.
yeah.
And then he doesn't buy a bottle. He buys the bar. He just made you look small in front of your peers and every woman. And so you gonna feel some kind of way.
That's what Boosie said in that
so you can't,
legendary at this point interview.
This is why, you know, you see a lot of athletes, like it used to be athletes used to be more outside.
Yeah.
You know, I used to, you know, when I'd be in spots, doing what I do.
A lot of spots and seeing people in
you
there.
used to see a lot more of, you know, of the people who played for the local NBA or NFL team or, you know, whatever. You'd see them outside. Now, you know, they know better. They know they can't move like that. You know,
No,
they
100%.
kick. They know how at this point, they know how to kick it with other people who have it just as much as they do. The circles may be smaller, but they're a lot safer.
It's called staying out the way.
And that's why
the end game is getting something back to the house, essentially anyway. And now they can just use social media for that.
100%, 100%.
just don't be on no Deshaun Watson.
Straight up.
Please, please. I want to squeeze this one in as well before we get out of here. Did you guys see our favorite person, DJ Khaled, had Twitter on fire about his producer's comment? Did y'all see that?
No, I didn't see that.
So
I'm on Twitter pretty regularly, and
you missed this one?
Maybe that's just maybe the people who I follow
Might not be
would
worried
not be concerned with DJ Khaled and whatever.
Well, there's an interview that surfaced. It was an older interview back on Hot 97. I think it was Ebro. And here's what he said about production. I wish Lone was here. He said producing has changed. They made Logic. They made Fruity Loops. He says it's called, you know how you be talking. It's called too easy. It's called you tell your computer what to program. That's why you see everybody is a producer or a DJ now. He says, but it takes a great producer like me to say them sounds is garbage. They fake. Don't fall for the trap. So producers start jumping out the woodwork, being like, first of all, this dude is not even, you really not a producer. Like people was going in. Hit Boy said, I produced Theraflu and Wish You Would for Khaled and Kanye on Fruity Loops. So clearly this dude doesn't know what he's talking about. Multiple producers start jumping in being like, yo, I used Fruity Loops when I made XYZ for you. I used all the programs that you're talking about.
I don't think it really matters what program somebody uses if they know what they're doing.
Thank you. But the fact that he jumped out the window talking like he was a producer, Bink was going in on him on Instagram, like all of the guys that are legit producers.
I mean, we all know the Khaled formula is to get whoever's hot, get him to send him a verse, find whoever's hot that does beats. I mean, he's doing Diddy style on a whole nother level. And what I mean by Diddy style is Diddy got a lot of producer credits for stuff he didn't produce.
Oh my God.
And this is the exact same thing Khaled is doing.
Yeah.
I give him the kudos for being able to get whoever's hot to jump on his stuff because he knows it's going to get placed because he's very good at marketing it. But other than that, I can't really say that.
I mean, to me, that's, if we're going to talk about him,
he's not even on our producer list.
As he shouldn't be. The thing that the thing that you want to give him his flowers for is the marketing.
Yeah.
Because he does corny as it may be, the marketing works. But this conversation here, as it relates to dissing people, talking about putting stuff in and programming, fam, you outsource your beats. People send you beats for your project.
And you put your name on them. That doesn't make you.
That doesn't.
You know,
make
at least Diddy would be like, okay, we need this. This needs to change here. We need to turn these drums up. Here, let's put the chorus in here. Like, Khaled just gets something sent to him. Somebody raps over it and he puts his name on it.
Yeah, like and
he put his name on the back of some Jordans. He didn't make them Jordans. He said, "Here's a colorway," and just put "We the Best" on the back. Khaled Jordans.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and this was older. Like it just the comment resurfaced, but Hit Boy and all these guys start just going in like, "Fam, I used Fruity Loops on your album." Like what? And it just goes to show you how clueless people are in the process.
That goes to show you that he's probably not making any beats.
We're going to talk about it, yeah.
Bro, how clueless do you have to be to say something like that?
He's still talking about Fruity Loops in 2022. It was like, dude, you know what people have done with Fruity Loops?
Oh,
bro,
man. I
still got Fruity Loops. I still open it up and use it.
You know, whether it's a cracked version or not, people are making it happen with Fruity Loops.
I ain't gonna say nothing. A good friend of mine that's in the chat told me.
Ain't no reason to even say nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
for those who know, some of you, your first DAW, your digital audio workstation, was provided to you by one Mr. Peter 𝗀𝗧𝗏.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so if you know that name, then you know that name.
𝐿𝐵𝐴nator says he saw a comment on TikTok where somebody said they want to see somebody put a laptop in front of him and see what he does.
Put an SP1200.
Yeah, put an S since he's so
a keyboard.
Since he's so technical.
Yeah, put Fruity Loops in front of him.
Such a pioneer out here making beats.
I'd love to see.
Yeah, let's see you make a beat with an SP and go up against Premiere.
Be clear. That's his era. He's old enough to know and was outside when the SP was really being used.
Well, just set it. He ain't got to go up against Premiere. Just set it. Just set these tools in a room with him.
Yeah.
Just and just turn on the camera and time lapse and see what he comes up with in a couple hours.
The comment section will be full of, well, he got the #1 album.
Come on, man.
And that's not what we're talking about.
I heard somebody today. I don't know if you got it down. But the whole 21 Savage Nas thing.
Oh yeah.
Somebody was saying just because 21 Savage has money, then he won.
And y'all don't think Nas has money?
Come on, man.
See,
this is how silly it is.
That's how dumb the argument gets.
That's how silly it is out here. The same thing would happen if you sit a SP in front of Khaled.
Right.
And he bombs, does nothing. Somebody would come on the side and just be like, well, he got money though.
You see his house? You see that car?
Yeah. It's just that right there that's stupid. What you just said, that's really stupid.
It is.
Because he got money. Like, where's I think if you really believe that Nas is an old broke rapper, like, where have you been?
People have to get this out of their head that money does not make you real or relevant. True. It just makes you have money.
Yeah, money doesn't. And the thing is, money doesn't make you great.
No.
You know, when you go to somebody's funeral, they're not like, man, let me tell you about this car he had.
Man.
True.
Man, do you see how many shoes he had?
True.
Like, that's not what they talk about when it's time to do the highlight reel of your life.
Nah, it's the makings of a man that extends even your lifespan. You can't focus on how much money somebody got and that be the end all be all to any conversation that you have with them just because you got money.
True.
Doesn't work that way.
You know, there's somebody who's listening to this and be like, man, that's some broke ass talk y'all have.
Oh, 100%. Right. Yeah,
y'all
100%.
in there talking about legacy and all that.
Go get some money.
Go get some money. If y'all had some money, you wouldn't be sitting up there
talking about this.
Exactly.
Well, I'm a 401k pension boy, so holla at me then.
Yeah,
don't bother me a bit.
Not one bit.
I look at my portfolio and be like, okay, we had a bad day today, but we'll get it back.
Come on, I ain't worried about none of that. You gonna be worried about that.
You in here counting people's Jordans in their closet. That's your problem.
And I can still rock Jordans and whatever, and I'm still gonna be good.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
He's completely clueless, and I'm glad some of these producers that got on Twitter and pretty much was like, dude, you out your mind. Like, there's one kid that he said dolls, producers that use the dolls that he's talking about, Khaled's production list, and he lists Ninth Wonder, Hit Boy, DJ Mustard, Metro Boomin, Mike Will Made It, Wonder Girl, Boy Wonder, Lex Luger, just to name a few. and all these people have used the programs that he's named. So I know it's an older interview, but that's a terrible comment that resurfaced, and I'm glad he gets.
There's a whole bunch of those from Khaled. It's like every once in a while something will pop up and we'll be like, oh yeah, this dude is pretty corny.
Hey man,
But he rich though.
TM88 worked on DJ Khaled's last album, and he's one of the people that uses Fruity Loops. That's what somebody else tweeted. So there's so many of these guys that have actually worked with this dude. This is how I know you're not really working with people, because to your point, beats are being sent in. That's what you're really doing. You A&R and you cipher. You going through beats to see.
That's all you doing.
That's it. So there will be the people in the comments that'll say, well, you should give him P's for being able to A&R and pick the right beats and put the right person.
He is
together.
executive
To that you say what?
producing. Like, we've had this conversation. He is an executive producer that is taking credit for actually producing this music. It's two different things.
Yeah, he might.
He's composing essentially.
He gets to pull everything.
No, he's not composing.
Well, he's not. He's composing by default, but he's not putting any keys into play with his own fingers.
Like, he's bringing all these artists and these beat makers together, and then making sure the business is taken care of on the back end.
That's
samples. That's great, but that doesn't make you Quincy Jones, buddy.
Yeah, I think Lone just put it in the chat. Sci-Hi tried to defend him.
Sci-Hi just want to be in.
He want to be on this Khaled album.
Yeah.
Hey, Sci-Hi got the pen to get on there though.
I mean, Sci-Hi is cold.
Yeah, we're not taking anything away.
We ain't taking nothing away from his hit making and bars and all of that, but he might want to get some of that Khaled shine as far as getting on the radio. And
I actually need an album from Sci-Hi. He dropped a banger.
He dropped a couple bangers.
No Dope on Sundays is a classic, man.
The Black History joint was crazy.
True. I'm gonna try to find that comment. Lone, that's a very good point. Sci-Hi did defend Khaled. Let's see. Might try to find. Y'all saying Sci-Hi just jumped on a wave real quick. That's all y'all got from it.
Well, I'm not gonna, disparage him in that way. He might have really meant that.
He might.
I don't think he's correct, but he might.
Nor do I. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I should have had this ready. He says, "I'm just saying, I can tell as an artist if you hand painted it or it's a print. Ain't nothing wrong with McDonald's. My N-word. If you're a McDonald's N-word, cool. But I'm a 5-star Michelin restaurant N-word. To each his own."
Michelin restaurant.
Yeah, that's what it says.
What kind of restaurants?
I may have pronounced it wrong. Michelin. I'm not fancy enough. I don't know. All our fancy people out there, y'all let us know. Did I say it? It wrong?
I'm not hip, I guess.
You want to try?
Last thing I knew is Michelin made tires.
Don't do
that. That's where I'm like, all right.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe
it might be French. I don't
maybe
know, man. Maybe I'm
tripping.
tripping.
Michigan.
Yeah, I'm not.
I don't know. Why that wouldn't make any sense either.
That ain't in my tax bracket.
And there's something wrong with Let me stop because they might be a sponsor one day.
I don't know, but they might throw a bag. I'm cool on this side. You my guy.
Yeah,
I'm cool on this.
I mean,
bro.
like maybe he's just trying. Some people
he trying to get in the room.
Love and
trying to get in one of them rooms when Khaled make them albums.
He actually don't need. He really don't need it. If we being honest, like.
He might though. I mean, that might be his angle. You got to understand. I ain't gonna say hip hop purists, but we like hip hop. We like the art of being able to bar somebody up.
True.
Everybody ain't trying to hear that.
No,
So if he can dumb down some lyrics and give one of them artists some bars to go on a DJ Khaled album,
he's
still getting that check.
Yeah.
Bro, it hurt people's soul when they found out that Sci-Hi was writing for Travis Scott. Hurt their soul. I said, man, y'all have to remember this dude is a brilliant writer and he's versatile. Don't put him in a backpack bag or this type of bag. The fact that he could pen on Travis Scott's album and then put out No Dope on Sundays, that's a bad boy. That's a bad boy in my opinion.
Yeah.
To be able to have your pen that versatile, that's different. Kanye
was on his shirt tail for a while.
True.
I don't know if he's still on Good Music. I mean, is Good Music even still a thing?
That I don't know. I think if I was to take a guess, Sci-Hi got writing credits on one of them Donda albums.
He has writing credits on probably every Kanye album from My Dark Twisted Fantasy
from there on
out.
Yeah. Nah, man, I'm cool on this comment though, Si. I'm still a fan, but I can't rock with you on this one, brother. This is trash. All right, man, we got about 5 minutes left. Is there anything else that we forgot? Anything foolish? Anything?
Yeah, this we don't need another Whitney Houston movie.
Okay.
It's still too soon.
Okay.
We love.
You was
Whitney.
mad about the dude that played Bobby Brown in the last one, right?
I accidentally saw the Lifetime movie, and I like
trash.
Well, first of all, and also everybody knows I'm a fan of Bobby Brown. I read his book.
Yeah.
And here's somebody who's been super transparent. Like, I read this book. I was like, I'd have kept that to myself.
No, Bobby was open.
But Bobby was very transparent. And have read it. I read the book by the time I saw the Whitney movie, and I was like, y'all just got stuff wrong that Bobby already wasn't particularly proud of, but at least get it right.
So I know we were talking about
you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Plus, they got another movie with this theatrical movie.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, when if it's your family and your people who put out the movie, they're not gonna tell you the truth about how. They're not going to tell the truth about how much Whitney liked cocaine and,
Well, look.
and how she had a girlfriend that whole time. They're not going to tell, something tells me they're not going to tell the truth. They're just going to make it seem like she was
of course
the great artist that she was. And,
of course
and Bobby Brown and all these other people brought her down. And, I'm not here for that. I'm not here for the lies.
Let me ask y'all this real quick before we get out of here. Who needs a biopic? It's not come out yet. Who needs one?
There's a few people that need biopics. Are we just talking about musically?
What would you want to see? Yeah, musically. Who would be one that you would want to see? I think Snoop working on one is what I heard.
Is he?
Yeah, I think Snoop is working on one. Is there anybody that stands out to you? I got one that I think
Jay-Z would be cool.
I'd like to see Outkast.
Outkast would be very good. That whole
I'd like to see Outkast.
Yeah, that whole era.
Going up from the dungeon all the way up. I'd love to see
tight.
that. That would be my pick. Who you think, Jay Moore, that you would want to see?
I would love to see Marvin Gaye, but I also know that if you can't skip over the Janis.
Come on now.
Some stuff that you don't want to see.
And you're going to realize, this dude was the beta test for R. Kelly in certain ways.
We ain't going to do that. We ain't going to do that.
I'm just saying, because if we're going to tell the whole story. The thing is, there's a lot of y'all that do not, want to know the truth behind your heroes. I
think a lot of people
even with
know.
the James Brown pick.
You think so?
Shot because he had a birthday.
Yeah, Chadwick would have been 46.
He was incredible.
Do you know that movie is trash from a director standpoint, but he was amazing?
You think so? I didn't think it was trash.
Here's why. The reason I always say this is because shout out to Chadwick, man, rest in peace. Here's why I think that movie is trash. The flashbacks threw me off. They were awkward. Mm-hmm. It broke up the succession of the movie. It's like, okay, so it starts off with him. What was the first scene?
Oh, it's when he shot his gun off in this.
Right, driving in the truck, and all that. It went to his property and the lady in the bathroom, all that. So it goes from that, and then it skips to him and his pops and his mom, and they shack in the woods, and then it goes to a performance in the 70s or something. That threw me off, dog. That threw me off.
I don't know, because it's such a broad story. I feel like it hit the beats that it needed to hit.
I'd have rather than just been, I don't know, man.
A straight linear story.
Yeah,
I mean,
maybe is that too long?
They would have had to do that's more of a TV movie type thing.
Okay.
But but even in the James Brown story, they kept it real on some stuff that if James Brown was alive or his kids maybe made it, they'd have probably kept the part where he knocked Jill Scott down a flight of steps or whatever. Maybe not a flight of steps. That's from
back into the dining room.
No, that's from Top 5 where they talked about what Tupac would be doing if he was still alive.
Oh my goodness.
They'd have probably kept that. Just like with the Temptations movie, I know that one of David Ruffin's kids is my dad didn't die in a dope house or whatever. I was like, yeah, but he did die of a drug overdose.
Yeah, he died of a drug overdose. You being real. You worried about the particulars, but
yeah, and so that's why I'm worried about this Whitney movie. I'm like, they gonna make it seem like.
What'd you think about the young lady they selected?
She not fine enough to play no Whitney Houston. Whitney Houston was a dime.
Whitney Houston, you know what?
Even she's a little skinny.
No, Whitney was a dime, man.
But
Whitney was out at the same time as Janet, and if I had a choice, I'm going with Janet.
Oh, everybody's going with Janet.
I never seen Whitney as I always view her like as an auntie for some reason.
Whitney was cold in the
Man,
Bodyguard.
I ain't never liked her like that.
Oh,
Man.
no.
I've never liked her like
dance,
that.
I want to dance with somebody. Whitney was
cold.
That
She was cool. She still reminded me of one of my aunties.
But at the same time, she ain't none on Pleasure Principle Janet.
Nah, Janet was the one.
She couldn't get a quarter in them jeans, boy. I tell you what.
To this, y'all say what? And I'm standing on it. The finest the finest version of Janet Jackson is Poetic Justice.
No.
That's the finest version. To me, she's the coldest that I've seen her in Poetic Justice.
No, I can't say that. I mean, and she's always been tight to me.
Now, I ain't saying she ain't cold on anything, and not in everything else. She's still cold. But Poetic Justice, Janet Jackson, is cold.
I got to go the mid 90s, like when she was on the cover of a magazine.
You hype off the cover.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You hype off the cover. I just
literally told you I prefer Janet over Whitney.
You gassed off the cover though.
Let me finish.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
God is good.
That era, she transitioned from that into the Velvet Rope.
Okay.
Come on, man. And even Pleasure Principle Janet. Come on now.
Poetic Justice, bro. Poetic Justice.
I mean, and I'm not saying that she was bad. It was just more so I don't know.
I think this is going to turn into how I do with Lone and Nas. I just think you hate Janet Jackson.
I didn't say nothing about hate.
You didn't say anything hateful. Where are you even getting this?
Just saying, man.
What are you just saying?
You're not saying anything, Mike.
Anyway, I'm standing on that. What you
standing
think,
on what?
It's Poetic Justice.
Standing on a mountain of lies.
J-Mo, what era then, bro? He told me his.
I mean,
what's your era?
I mean, because it's part of it's the same era, but
all
like,
of it.
But the
Janet fine in all of them, by the way.
Yeah, it was probably the way. I mean, honestly, pleasure Principle Janet was top. Like, if you really want to go Janet, for me, it was Charlene when she was Willis's girlfriend on Different Strokes.
That's when it began.
That was top notch Janet.
Wow.
Every youngster, I was a young boy, but I knew what time it was when I saw Charlene. Man. Charlene should have got more screen time, but she had other things to do.
She's too busy getting ready to make that album.
Yeah.
Control.
No, that Charlene Janet was making them first 3 albums. Didn't nobody buy?
Yep. You're right. You're right.
I'm sorry. Did y'all buy them?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, you're right.
You ain't cop?
No.
I thought. Most people.
I ain't cop an album until Control.
Most people thought Control was her first album.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, it's
I wasn't copping the albums when she had the little mushroom vibe.
The mushroom.
that was her.
That was hot in that time. It
was a vibe.
But I ain't copping none of them albums.
Had the Jordache jeans. She had the show enough Jordache look.
The mom jeans.
Bro,
that's true. That was a vibe. I ain't argue with you.
Yeah. Did y'all see that they supposed to have J-Lo singing?
I think somebody is trolling.
Wait.
That has to be a trolling.
Wait. What?
She ain't got the chops for that.
Who?
J-Lo.
She's gonna do a Whitney Houston tribute.
Man,
what song she gonna sing?
It was bad enough when she did that Motown tribute.
Bro, what
only
song?
thing she can sing is "It's Alright, It's Okay."
She can sing that.
That's the only thing she can get away with.
She can't get in the pocket on none of the rest of them
Absolutely nothing. It would have to be Mariah.
It would have to be Jennifer Hudson or somebody like that.
Or maybe like
Layla Hathaway.
Or they could, I don't know what Christina Aguilera is doing right now.
She could still.
Kiki Wyatt.
Yeah.
I'm
sure she could still
get Shantae Moore. She has, but they probably do it just because J-Lo's got the name and now she's getting ready to marry Ben Affleck again and all this other folks.
Do y'all want to hear J-Lo sing
Absolutely not.
You
don't even have to finish the question. The answer is no.
I don't want to hear her singing Saving
They might as well say
Love,
Britney Spears gonna do it.
Yeah.
Well, that'd have been real bad.
Hey.
But no, I don't need J-Lo touching any Whitney songs. I hope that's just more of the misinformation era.
Exactly.
We don't need that.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Elon Musk, please clean that up.
I don't think he's ready to clean up anything. It's a free for all on Twitter right now.
True.
People just doing whatever, saying whatever, copying whatever name they decide they want to make. Put a whatever it is. Verified check.
First of all, I've never enjoyed watching. This is the first time I've had an opportunity to enjoy watching somebody set $44 billion on fire.
Man,
right in front of you, in real time.
And now he's mad because Apple won't because he's losing all these advertisers. Like, that's part of free speech too.
It is. People don't realize that free speech goes both ways.
Yeah, like
Lone's post about the true definition is still classic to this day as it relates to free speech. Not too many people commented on that because he was right. So shout out to the homie Lone on that, man, because he cooked a lot of people on Twitter. But no, I just seen a lot of rich people complaining a lot. That's just something I've been seeing a lot lately, and
I've been exhausted from all of that rhetoric for a couple years now. Honestly,
yeah, over it, as they say.
Over it.
Well, shout out to the chat, man. We appreciate you all rocking with us tonight. I know we had a condensed show, but we really appreciate y'all checking with us. It's on our off day, but we really appreciate the support as always. Shout out to the partners, and remember, newoldheads.com, all of the education you need this year. See it, like it, subscribe.
Become a Patreon.
Become a Patreon member. All of that. Share it. We appreciate all the support, and we'll see y'all next week. We'll have a full cast. Peace.
Minute.